All right, welcome back to another episode of the On J podcast. I'm your co-host Jeremiah.
I'm your co-host Orlando.
So this would be our first active player, right?
Yes, sir.
All right, so first active player. He's currently a freshman at Rainey College. Guard. What you consider yourself? Point guard, combo guard.
Combo.
All right, combo guard.
Combo.
Isaiah Alexander, welcome to the show.
Man, it's great to be here. I'm not gonna lie. It's been a minute. Since we talked, my man. I'm not gonna lie.
For sure,
It's been a little minute.
For sure, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. But Rain College, what state that's in?
Minnesota, northern Minnesota. So
All
it's
right,
up top.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah.
So Minnesota, Florida, like what was something you noticed like first you got up there from Florida, different from Florida?
Well, the culture, and obviously the weather. There's
For
weather,
sure.
and going up top. Well, I've been around places like for travel ball, so being up top, I got used to it. Not pretty quickly, because you're going from bottom of the map, top of the map. So
For
it's
sure.
like, all right, gotta adjust a bit. But most
Yeah.
likely the weather and the culture. I can tell you
All right.
that.
For sure. I bet.
So let's go ahead and start it off, from the very beginning. Tell us what really got you introduced into the sport of basketball.
Basketball, man. First, I played football, and
Okay.
then I stopped around like fourth or fifth grade.
What
And then my
position they had you at?
QB,
QB.
QB. My pops was like, "Well, do you want to play any other sport?"
Yeah.
And then with him, he was always playing basketball, so I was always around basketball, and like he was always coaching basketball. So like just being around basketball is just a big old basketball household.
For
So
sure.
it's like, being around him, I saw it. It was like, all right, that could be the next step. And then from fifth grade to now, I'm playing basketball up north in college, and it's so far it's been a very interesting journey. I can't even lie.
For
Very
sure.
interesting, humbling, and very eye-opening experience. I can tell you that.
Yes, sir. All right, I love it. I love it. So how I mean, of course, like you weren't. What was something like you noticed that when you first started hooping, like that you were good at, from the jump?
From the jump, first thing I knew that I was like I wouldn't say good, but exceptional at was
Uh huh.
shooting.
Okay.
It was shooting. It was definitely shooting. But like I
Yeah.
definitely had my like trips of airball, brick,
For
airball,
sure. For
airball.
sure. For sure.
But like when it really sparked, it was an AAU tournament
Uh,
in Orlando, and worldwide sports. Bro, what's it called again, bro? Yeah, ESPN Worldwide Sports.
uh-huh.
There we go.
For sure.
Wide World Sports.
Uh huh.
That's when I hit my first three, and I was like, all right, stick to the mechanics, keep sticking to it. I got a better shot, and then that's what became like my little niche, just shooting, and then be able to like create space for others and creating space for myself, just
For
to
sure.
get the rock off. But yeah,
All right. Cool. Cool.
So,
So what would you say? What?
wait, I got one real quick. So going
Uh-huh.
off
Go
of,
ahead.
you said you started off with football, right? Do you
yes,
feel
sir.
there was anything in that transition from football to basketball? Do you feel like any skills or anything that you gained from football helped you progress faster in basketball?
Yes. Footwork. I always had phenomenal footwork from football, and then just IQ, vision, and then quick thinking. Like critical thinking is a must. It's always a must. And then especially when you're going at a high pace, so you just got to slow everything down in your line of sight, and then just understanding, okay, who's there, who's over there, what type of angle he could take to get his teammate open, and then just picking like with football, we called it holes, like A hole, B hole, and then C hole. And then you had to figure out, who, like which. We had to figure out, like, hey, that's how Coach Dixon had it. You can't lie. you you can't lie. That's how. So like, so like that's what helped me figure out, okay, placement wise with people,
Sure.
and then understanding who's on your team and like who could do what and who couldn't do what.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's where my little niches came from
All
playing
right.
football with Coach
Okay.
Dixon at Ives.
Cool. Cool. Shout out Coach Dixon.
Yes,
But
sir.
all right. So back to basketball. So I would say so. At what age did you feel like was it that you wanted to like pursue? You started to take it seriously, like you pursuing your own workouts, like putting in that extra time. Like, what age would you say like you started to grasp that concept?
Yeah, that concept was big. I'm not gonna lie.
Uh-huh.
Like throughout middle school, it was there. It was like lingering there and there, like here and there. But like when I really got to high school, like around like 16, 17, that's when
Mm-hmm.
I was like, all right, yeah, talent not gonna take you like far. Like it's gonna take you far, but like it's not gonna open the doors that you want to open.
For
And
sure.
it's like once I understood that, that's when I started to like, all right, me and my boys will end up at a school called Aces. We'll go there, hoop
Mm-hmm.
after practice, or then just go to LA. Like LA was like further in my year of high school
Right.
because that's when I didn't really have it. We were just really going to Aces and then just like going to parks and stuff like that. So like once I understood that concept,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, okay, is building blocks. Every day is a building block, and every day is 1%. And then
Yeah.
I got that concept grasped down at Rainy. So like every day is 1%. And then yeah,
All
around
right.
like 16, 17, that's when I was able to like, all right, you gotta
For
go.
sure. All right. Cool. Cool. So like, so what year? So how many years of varsity you played? You played how many?
Three. First
3.
year, yeah,
Okay.
first year at Crop, I played freshman year on JV and
Mhm.
then got moved up sophomore year.
All right, nice. So what was that? So how would you say what was your like mindset coming in like sophomore year? Because usually like from what I've seen, like sophomores don't really like play like freshmen and sophomore don't really play varsity too much. It's mostly like juniors and seniors. So it's
Yeah,
like to have that extra like year under your belt. Like what was your mindset coming into sophomore year?
being able to prove that you deserve to be out there.
For sure.
That's the mindset that you have to have when it comes to that. Because varsity is yeah, everybody say it's a whole different level, but it's just everybody with a higher IQ and just
Yeah.
moving quicker than you. So if you can keep up with that pace while staying on track with your pace and moving
Mhm.
ahead of time as far as play wise, then yeah,
Okay.
anyone could do it.
Yeah,
Anyone could do it.
for
But that
sure.
was my mindset going into it.
All right. So
So continuing on your kind of high school career, when you went into high school and you started playing basketball, did your whole 4 years of high school and your whole career of high school, did it go how and you planned it in your head, or were there like obstacles you had to go through and overcome and stuff?
There was definitely obstacles. I
talk
can
about 'em.
guarantee there was definitely obstacles, like just from with me and then internal issues with the team. But that like those little issues didn't come around to like junior, senior year. Like sophomore year, it was just like internal issues with me and just like being committed and then like just keep putting in that work. And then as prod time went on, there's like little internal issues within the team, the coaching staff, and then like we had this picture of going to states our
Mm,
final year. And then when we had the chance, we lost at home
mm,
with districts. We lost at home with districts. And then we got another chance to move up to regionals and we played a regional game and we lost to our regional team, which was Miramar.
mm.
But as far as me wise, personally, I pictured it one way, but the picture, I wouldn't say it got skewered, but I definitely had to change some things around.
For
And
sure.
I definitely had to change some habits. I definitely had to change, just how I worked out and how I did things. And over the course of time, I gradually understood that. And I started seeing the results like junior, junior summer going into senior year.
Mm.
That's when I saw the most progress out of my results, out of my journey, my workout journey. Um, but yeah, it's really it's really a mindset thing.
Okay.
And that's
Junior
what
summer. So you
mm,
say junior summer to your senior year. You
yeah.
say saw them. So what like was it? Did you change something up that summer? Like did you work out more? Did you focus on like a specific skill? Like what was it about that summer? You would
My
say.
motor. My
Oh yeah.
pops will always would tell me about my motor. Like sometimes I could ramp it up. Sometimes I'd be too lazy. Sometimes I'll try to play too cool. Sometimes I'll just like go on my pace, but not as the pace of the game.
Right. I got a follow up to that too.
mm,
Well, no, I want you to keep going, but I got a follow up
mm,
to that.
with that, it was like I wouldn't say I call it a lazy flow, but
Mm-hmm.
with me, I'll always have some type of flow in my game because I like to slow things down
For sure.
like before I even get on the court. So it's like I analyze who's on the court, act like knowing my personnel. I got that from my teammate, my boy Kenny. It was
Mm-hmm.
like knowing who your personnel is and
Mm,
just understanding what people could do and what he could do, what they could do. If he could shoot, he can't shoot, if he got IQ or not, and stuff like that.
for sure.
And I started understanding that. And then that's all it really is, to be
Oh,
honest. With me,
right.
that's all it really is.
Oh, that's fine. So with your father, he's like a trainer, coach. He was probably like one of the more I would have one of the toughest coaches I almost had. Cause like
Yeah.
I think it was 10th grade JV. And like I was trying out. I made it past first cut, but then the second cut is like that man like put some like special type. It wasn't fear, but it was like, nah, this man's like legit. Like he was like all that stuff like y'all used to eating, like all that Popeyes, all that McDonald's. I'm gonna shit it out of you. And I'm like, how did he know I had that last night? Like it's crazy. So then
Yeah, bro. You
like
knew. You
and then like
knew.
he had put us through like some crazy conditioning. Like he had us run all like through, he had us run around like crop and Ives. And like I wanted to just like cut my legs off that day. Like it was crazy. So like what's your that's what to lead on, like what's your worst experience like conditioning with your dad? Or just your worst condition, or was he your worst ever conditioning experience? Like ever?
Mm, not really.
Okay,
Not really.
if he's not your worst conditioning, then what is your worst conditioning like experience? You would say,
My worst conditioning experience,
yeah,
like I wouldn't consider them worse because
uh huh,
like I was always conditioned. So like
for sure,
in a sense, I was always able to like keep up and have stamina. But like my worst like experience was
yeah,
doing weeks. This thing called weeks in high school with Coach Chris. Now
uh huh,
that was our head coach at the time.
uh huh,
And it's a 10-week program where you go up a ladder. It's a ladder of 10, not suicides, but 10 sprints,
uh
either
huh,
in the gym or outside. Or if we can't do weeks, we'll do Indian run. But that's a whole different story. Um, with weeks, it's a set of laps we have to complete on the court, up and
right,
down, and then you go up and go up, you go up, you hit the peak, and then you go back down, and then all that within a time limit of the laps, and then you get a time limit for the break. So like let's
okay,
say if you run 3 up downs, you get 30 seconds of break, and then we right back at it, and then the next one is 6, and then you probably get a 45-second break, and then the
oh
next one
no,
is 9. Then
nah, that's
yeah,
crazy.
you see where I'm going.
Nah,
So
that's
yeah, once you get to
crazy.
the top of the ladder,
Yeah,
then you go back down, and you do that for 10 weeks. I'm not gonna lie, doing that,
uh huh,
it helped me get into, I wouldn't say peak condition, but I was I was going like up and down wise, I was going.
my lord, my lord, my lord. Nah, that's crazy.
Yeah, it gets serious in the trenches, my boy. It
Nah,
gets
for
serious.
sure. From the
It
sounds of
gets
it.
serious.
All right, so since we still talking about high school, what would you say your best game was like at Crop?
At Crop.
Yeah.
Away games included or just at Crop?
Hey, any home,
Any
away, whatever.
any away. Mm,
Or like a game that like just stood out to you.
a game that stood out to me. Ooh,
Mhm.
Miami High. We
Okay.
played Miami High at home.
All right.
It was a home game because we beat them. No, they beat us at the start of the season.
Okay.
At the start of the season, they beat us because we had to go to them. And then right at that time, it was like a little rivalry thing going on. So they came to us like second half of the season. They came to us. They came home, and then like all the hype surrounding about it, and just crop in general, crop in Miami High because Miami High had a squad, and
Right.
we both teams had a squad, and it was junior year.
Mm-hmm.
And coming from that game, that's when like everything clicked for me. All the like pieces, the little pieces that I had to work on, and
Mm-hmm.
the little pieces that I had to, ramp up, like my motor and my IQ and then my core vision, all
Yeah.
that seemed to play the part in that game. And that was like one of the most memorable games we ever had. Well, I ever had in
Okay.
high school, because that game, like, it was a pivotal moment for me. Because like
Right.
people were starting to notice, like, all right, he can actually play. And he's like, nah, he's not a regular kid or nothing. He's not a coach's son. Like, he can actually play. That kid can actually play. It's just that
Yeah.
sometimes, he gets lazy. And then that's when I started to realize, those little things about myself being on the court. And that
Right.
game was like, it was a fun game too. We lost,
For
but
sure.
it was a very fun game because we went
Oh, for
into
sure.
overtime too. But
Okay.
that game was fun. It was
That's
really fun.
love to see it. Love to see it.
So, quickly going back, I know when I was asking questions, you talk about the importance of like having that right mindset,
Mhm.
when playing basketball and getting into basketball. So, what kind of tips would you give like a young player going into basketball to make sure that he starts going in the right direction and having that right mindset?
Mm.
First things first, be confident in yourself at all times.
Mm-hmm.
At all times. And even if it's outside of basketball, because that confidence will lead over to basketball or whatever you're doing. And then just be conscious of your decisions on the court and especially off the court too. And just be out there to have fun. At the same time, you want to be you want to have a little competitive nature in you, but just don't let it like overdrive you to the point where you're just yelling at people and just changing up your whole, like, this choreography of yourself for the game. Like, just don't lose yourself, just screaming at people like, oh, like bashing people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And it's like just getting a feel for the game, knowing it can open doors and you take it the right route, then yeah, it could be fun. And just being confident in yourself could take you a long way, a
For
very
sure.
long
For
way.
sure.
For sure. That's what's up. So like once you like knew that you wanted to play, like where you did you start watching a lot of basketball or like on your own time?
Yeah,
Or are you just a hooper?
yeah, that's when like Baller's Life was around. When I
Ah,
started,
yeah.
when I started watching like mixtapes, like
Yes,
Yay
sir.
Area's Finest, Hoop Mixtape, Baller's
Yeah.
Life. That's when it was like peak 2015, like
Right.
rocking right into 2016. I was like, all right, I definitely got to watch more basketball because like it was more of me watching in person and then like
Yeah.
just watching the NBA from time to time, and then college basketball. I started to understand college basketball in high school,
Mm-hmm.
and like with college ball, I started watching more college ball than Hoop Mixtapes and Ball's Life, and then like that's when I think in the 2016,
Mm-hmm.
Ball's Life just took over me. Like I was just
Yeah.
watching Ball's Life mixtapes every day,
Oh, so
and
you got to
then
watch like the All American camps and all that stuff they used to have. All
yeah, the
right.
best of Ball's
Yeah.
Life, all them
Yeah.
joints,
Yes,
all them
sir.
joints. The
All
Team
right.
USA camp, all them
For sure.
joints.
All right.
But
Cool.
film study as of in general, that's
Yeah.
important too. That's one of the things I neglect to mention. Film study. Film study is one of them things that you have to be on point with. Because watching yourself in general, yeah, some people may say it's like narcissistic and just
Yeah.
have that like connotation to it. But it's not really. You just understanding like your game and
Mm-hmm.
then understanding the people around you. That's all it really is. And that's one thing I understood being at Rainy too.
For sure. Are there certain players you like to watch more than other, or like certain players you like to watch?
Yes, CJ McCollum.
Okay.
Ooh.
CJ McCollum for me is like I could move how he moved,
Mm-hmm.
but I feel like I could create a better shot than
Mm.
what he does.
Okay.
Cause he uses everything in his arsenal, and that's one thing I like about him. And like he's always been the underdog. Like he's
Facts.
always been that guy. He's always been that guy where he could go get a bucket, like literally go get a bucket.
Yeah.
And like the pace that he plays at, that's where I feel like that's how the pace I play at.
For sure.
But I could ramp it up because being a combo guard, I could play two, like both sides of the floor. I love defense.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't. Some people may not know. Like I get lazy for sometimes, but when it's time to lock up, I lock up.
Yeah. For sure.
And I like that's one thing I like about me. I would like when it's time to like amp it up, I'll amp it up. But with CJ, with CJ, he always plays at his own pace.
Yeah.
And that's one thing I noticed about him. And being able to finish around the cup and then being able to like keep his floater like just polished and touched. And it's just with him, I could be like that, but to
Right.
my own, yeah, to my own like abilities, quicker abilities in a sense.
Okay. CJ McCollum, bet. All right, cool.
So
Cool.
so kind of going off of that too. So have you ever had a moment whether you were playing the game or like watching somebody where they did like a specific move or a specific play and you was like, I have to find a way to add that to my arsenal of moves.
For sure.
Yeah, yeah. It's travel ball. Travel ball, you're gonna see a lot of those.
Mm.
But it was just this one specific move is the in and out cross. And then Hezi, if they bait for it, Hezi blow by. If they don't, pull. Cause with that, I have a better mid-range shot than a 3-point, but a 3-point is gonna go in. But with the mid-range, I feel like it's more butter than the 3-point because
Yeah.
I work on my mid-range a lot. And that's one thing I wanted to perfect too, which is my mid-range. But the in and out cross, he's both going both ways with left hand and right hand.
So
And then with that move, somebody did that to me. And it's like
uh
the hezzy, man, the hezzy is what's gonna get you. The
yeah.
hezzy is what's gonna get you. Cause if you bait for it, you're done for. You're cooked. Especially if the guy knows what he's doing, you're cooked. And I got hit with that like twice in a game. And I was like, yeah, I gotta take that.
For
I gotta
sure.
understand that because
For
it
sure.
works. Especially if you have a shot. If you have a shot, you could bait pretty much. Especially if you hitting too. If you hot and you hitting, you can pretty much bait anyone with that. And
Yeah.
that move is lethal. That move is
Okay.
very lethal.
For sure. All right. That's real. That's real.
I could see that move already being pulled.
Trust, 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 trust. It will be pulled, but don't worry. I got a bag. I got a bag of tricks, and I'm just gaining more. I'm just gaining more day by day.
For sure. For
Like that.
sure.
I like that.
For sure. All right. So you at Rainy now. So it was like was Rainy. So you get so senior year. So what is your approach to was Rainy like the only school you would say you were interested in, like including like extending your basketball career?
Interest wise, no, because
Mm-hmm.
it was like a last resort type thing.
Right.
With my dealio, where I was headed,
Mm-hmm.
at first I wanted to go to fam, but at the back in the back of my mind, I was like, well, will I play basketball at fam? That
Right.
was the second thought in the back of my mind. And then with like test scores and stuff like that, I couldn't even get it at the time. I couldn't even get into fam at the time because of test scores.
Right.
Grades were fine, but with
Mm-hmm.
test scores, it was like, all right, I gotta take another route. And then that's when my dad told me about Coach Anderson at Broward.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, all right, what we could do is, which is a simpler route for many people, is 2 years at JUCO, and then you transfer to whatever school you want. And then I thought about it, thought it over, and then at the time, this was like pre-COVID. So
Mm-hmm.
pre-COVID, this was the layout. This was the plan. Go to Broward, stay there for 2 years, and then just dip, go over to whatever school you want to, fam, whatever you want to go. And when COVID hit, that's when things got wonky.
Mm.
When things got wonky, I was trying to see where he was gonna go,
Mm-hmm.
and then he ended up at a school called University of Fort Lauderdale.
Right.
And then I was trying to get over there and just doing workouts over there. And then like with COVID, that's when like a lot of internal issues at the crib started happening. And then just getting
Mm-hmm.
to workouts and then just getting to school in general, it just started to become a hassle.
For
And
sure.
then just issues kept arising day by day. And I was like, all right, I gotta figure this out.
For sure.
And then like a couple of weeks into the summer, my pops called me. He was like, hey, there's this coach interested in you at Rainy. And with him, with Coach Bill, he recruits like mainly down south, and then just in state too, and other stuff. Like in other stuff, like what other states he go to. And my teammate TJ O'Connor and Greg, Gregory
Mhm.
Barber. They both went
Mhm.
to Rainy.
Right.
They
Okay.
both went to They both went to Rainy.
Ah. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So you 2-2.
Yeah.
So they both went to Rainy. They played for Bill and Greg. Greg right now, I think he's graduating from
All right.
Lakeland
Nice.
University.
Yeah, but Greg.
And yeah, that boy Greg.
Cool. He cool people. He cool
Yeah,
people
yeah. Greg came a long way.
for
And
sure.
then with TJ's at Midway right now, a school,
Okay.
yeah, Midway University in Kentucky, I think.
For
I
sure.
think it's in Kentucky. Don't quote me on it, but
Nah, for sure.
um, but yeah, I got in touch with Bill. Pop sent him my highlight tape for senior year, and then
Mhm.
yeah, that's how it all came down to it.
All right. Cool. Were you able to were you able to get like their experience, like TJ and Greg's, like to you was their teammates for a little bit, right? At Crop or no? Were
For
you?
1 year.
Okay,
For
yeah.
1 year.
So like you got two other teammates that's about to go to a college you go to. Like, were you able to get some of their firsthand experience, like at Rainy?
Uh, in a sense, yes and no, because it
Mm-hmm.
was busy mainly,
Right.
and then excuse me, with their little affairs going on up there, and like
Right.
just things doing throughout the day, they'll tell us. Like like no, not he, TJ told a
Mm-hmm.
couple of us like how
Mm-hmm.
it is up there, the experience up there,
Right.
and then just like being up there, you have to like really lock in because it's a JUCO. It ain't much to do depending where you go. And with JUCOs, you have D3, D2, D1 JUCOs, and I'm at a D3 JUCO.
Right.
So it's like you don't expect much,
Mm-hmm.
but have high expectations that you're gonna set on yourself, and
Mm.
especially if you're gonna be focused about it. And then you really have to lock in depending where you at. Because if you trying to get out of JUCO, it's real. When people say that JUCO grind is real, it's real.
Yeah, I was gonna say like the
It's
whole
real.
like I seen like a player, I think it was Jimmy Butler or something. He was like, like be careful to pass the ball because like you may not get that ball back. Like, would you say like that's accurate?
Um, Depending what team you play for, but like
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day, the teammates I had,
You're right.
we all had a common goal.
Right.
Like we all had a common goal, along with Bill. Just Bill, he wanted to get his second. I think they don't call it district, but I
Mm-hmm.
think they do it by regional. His second regional title with us because we had a pretty solid squad. We had a
Right.
pretty solid squad, and like nobody was selfish. Like everybody started as time went on, and we started to like gel and connect.
For sure.
Everybody started to understand a role, and everybody started to realize, all right, this is our common objective. But with that team, nah, I don't think it wasn't like that.
Yeah.
In my experience,
For
it
sure.
wasn't like that. But you definitely have to hoop because
Gotcha.
if you don't come to hoop, then it's like all right.
Yeah.
That's when active personnel come in. It's like all right, he can't do this, he can't do that. That's when like you have to understand who you hooping with and how you hoop with those certain players, and then
Right.
just understanding who's on the court and who's not on the court.
So getting there, like first, like your first week, like what was your first impression, like of college? No parents, it's just you, like what I mean. You just living on your own. Like, what was your first impression of college?
Being on my own,
Yeah.
I'm pretty used to being on my own, like living wise, because
Mm-hmm.
I moved around a lot.
Right.
But I knew what I had to take care of, like just living on my own wise. Like I know how to like do laundry, like all the simple stuff. Do
For sure.
laundry, cook for yourself, just making sure the house clean, toilet
Yeah.
clean, all the little things that you do at your crib or
Mm-hmm.
whatever the case may be. And then just keeping the crib tidy and just respecting the crib at the same time and just living by yourself. It's easy.
Right.
It's easy, but like some people, some people like to make it hard. And that's when you just got to figure out, all right, who could do this and who can do that? And like
Right.
what needs to be done in the crib, what has to be taken care of in the crib, like
For sure.
because going to a JUCO, not everything is gonna work in a
Mm-hmm.
sense.
For sure.
Not everything is gonna work in a sense. So you gotta figure out, all right, when can I take care of this? When can I do this and that? And just
Yeah.
having a schedule for yourself. That's one big thing too, having a
Mm-hmm.
schedule for yourself when it comes
For
to
sure.
crib stuff.
All right, cool, cool. So you get there. So like how long? So you get there. So how long was it until you had to go to your first practice? Like from you getting there, was it like a quick? Was it a quick turnaround?
Like first official practice or just like first
Uh
like
well, yeah. So what? So like you get there. So what is it? Do you have to? Was it time? Like was it practice around, or did you have to do workouts on your own? Like what was it when you first got up there? Like
when I first got up there,
mm-hmm.
um hmm, I'm trying to see if like was half the team. Yeah, pretty much a good chunk of the team was up there.
Okay,
And by the time my group came, because like 4 players came at the same time, I came and
right.
I was one of those 4 players. It was
Okay,
like, all right, that's enough to start workouts. So he let us got settled in and he gave us about he sent us an email. I got there at August 20 something, like 22nd, 2020, no, 21st. I got
uh-huh.
there August 21st. Um, came in, he gave us the email, he gave us the rundown. He said this, and that is gonna start. The first official practice started like October
Oh,
something.
okay.
Yeah, October something. That's when like first official practice started. But we was doing runs before, like before practice, before that
Right.
time. We was doing workouts, like individual workouts and then runs at the same time. Because he wanted to see like a feel for the team. Like he wanted to get a feel for his players
For sure.
and then just understanding who can do what with that. But with the runs, he didn't really do much. He just made us do like two drills, warm up
Mhm.
2 drills, and then make sure we warm, get the blood flowing, and then we'll just go right into it. Pick for teams, and then just go right into it.
For
And then
sure.
when the season started rolling around, that's when we start getting our stuff, and then like gear wise, practice gear, and then that's when we got rolling.
Okay. Cool. Cool. So did you determine a major yet? Uh,
I do.
or
Yeah, I have, which
mhm.
is sports physiology and kinsology.
Oh,
But
whoa, whoa, whoa.
yeah,
Nah, you gotta explain that. You gotta explain that
I
yeah.
need some more elaboration on that.
So,
one.
so in the simpler terms, it's
hmm.
just the anatomy of an athlete's body, and
For sure.
then just understanding. All right, if he gets hurt, what did he hurt? What's bruised? What ligament? What, well, let's say L1, 2, 3 in your spine, or whatever joint, muscle, bone, whatever that they hurt, and understanding that player's body and what they could do and how the people that's treating them could
Mm-hmm.
help him gain, I wouldn't say experience, but that
Hmm.
muscle memory back for that injured spot, that injured area.
Ah, okay.
So
Gotcha.
it's basically I wouldn't say you're casual athletic trainer,
Hmm.
but your physical therapist, your trainer also, and especially your doctors. It depends who your doctor recommends you to, and then just physical therapy overall in
Oh
that
no,
general
that's
sense.
that's
Yeah.
important. That is important for sure. All right. So fast forward. So you get through the runs, you working out with your team, you get to the school, y'all doing all of that. So first practice. So what was your first practice experience like? Was it how was it for you? Was it more than you thought, less than thought? Like what'd you think of it?
First practice experience. I wouldn't say it was less of what I thought, but
Mm-hmm.
it was what was expected.
Gotcha.
It
Okay.
was what was expected because the experience I had, like just growing up playing basketball for my dad,
Yeah.
anyone around me that played for Miami Select or Miramar Red Alert at that time,
Mm-hmm.
they would know that experience was
Yeah.
it was an experience.
He
That's
prepared
all
y'all.
I'm gonna
So
say.
he prepared you.
Yeah, he prepared us. He
All
prepared
right.
us. It was an
That's what's up.
experience. So like, but just getting there, the only thing I really had to get used to,
Yeah.
which is being on your own schedule and then just
Mm.
reps, getting as much reps as you can
Okay.
in practice and then outside of practice. It was just more like that. That was one of the
Gotcha.
things I had to get used to.
Okay. Nice. All right. Cool.
Which one did you like more? Did you like the days when you had to go in and do like physical practice, or did you like the film session days more?
Mm.
Physical practice for me. I like physical practice because I
For
like to
sure.
move. One thing about me, I noticed I like to move, and I don't like to stand in one spot sometimes.
Yeah.
It depends how my day is. Yeah, it really depends on my days. And like physical practice for me is like, all right, get out there, go as hard as you can, get a sweat going. And you know, the simple things that everybody would think about. And it's just like having simple goals for each practice every day. And then just understanding, all right, my position, my role in practice. Like in
Right.
practice gave me a lot of experience about just myself and then just with the college system overall. So
Mm.
in practice was really the one for me.
Okay. Cool. So I know you told me you redshirted. So I see like some kids that some like players they redshirt and then like they able to play a couple games. So like were
Mhm.
you like the ones that played a couple games and then sat out, or did you just sit out the whole season?
I played 3 scrimmage games,
Okay.
and then I found out I had a red shirt like 2 weeks before the season.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, 2, 3 weeks before the season, I found out I had a red shirt, and I was like, all right, I just take it one day at a time, get your grades up, do what you got to do.
Right. So scrimmage games was that's within a team, right? Would you
Yeah,
all right. So how you think you performed in those games, or like what'd you take away from those games?
those games, I took away the main one for me
Mm-hmm.
was being able to adapt to my new teammates because I know
Okay.
I'm not going to have them forever.
Right.
And then just understanding systems and sets. The first 2 games, they were rocky for me. And then the
Mm-hmm.
third game, it was like, all right, he got a groove. He's good.
Sure.
Like he understands. He's starting to understand his role. And then with that, just adjusting to having a more role based kind of position, and then knowing who's the scorers, knowing who's the hustlers, knowing who has what, who does what in the system, and then yeah, just being in that system, just kind of like, all right, pack down,
Mm-hmm.
pack down on what you could do,
Right.
and then understand what you could do for the team. So I gotten used to that, and that was the experience that I took away from just being like in that setting up in
For
Minnesota.
sure. All right. Cool. Yeah, that's another like I wanted to add on to that because like so you didn't play so you sat out the whole season. So like
Hmm.
what was some so how like what was it like on the bench? Like what was were you able to like see like where you fit in? Like what was it like? Like what was your mindset like on the bench? Like
My mindset on the bench was to observe everything that I can affect,
for sure.
everything that where I could fit into like system wise, and then observing my teammates around me because they might my teammates now
Mhm.
that this past year,
Yeah.
I don't know if they some of them are going back, and I know that for a fact. So
Right.
like at the end of the summer is really up to me whether if
Mhm.
I want to go back or not. But highly likely if I do
Mhm.
go back, I understand my teammates.
For sure.
One thing I do know is I know my teammates, and then just being like just understanding from that perspective and that point of view,
Mhm.
just sitting out the whole time. I didn't take it as like, oh, I'm sitting out, I'm wasting time and stuff like that. In a sense, I was
Yeah.
because I didn't perform how I wanted to perform before I
Mhm.
even got up there. So in a
Right.
sense, it was on me. But that whole year, it helped me understand like my personality on the court, and then just who I
Mm.
am as a player, and then just understanding my coach, my teammates, and then understanding like the system that they have in Minnesota, like ref wise, and then just understanding who's who, and then
Yeah.
understanding what I could do for myself and then for the team, most importantly.
For sure. Oh, that's
So
real.
so continuing off of that, with this experience, do you feel like long term it's gonna be like a long term benefit to you, or would you just have preferred to, go out there and play that first season?
Uh, right now, it's been more of a mental journey than physical journey in a
Mm.
sense. So I see it as a long-term thing because I'll never forget my experience at Rainy because I definitely went through, like, I wouldn't say phases, but some transitions within myself to understand like, okay, this game has really opened a lot of doors for me, and this game has really put me in positions that I wouldn't expect me like without it to be in.
Mm.
And it's like with that long term goal for me is to keep playing until my knees give out.
Yes,
No
sir.
cap.
Yes,
No
sir.
cap. Keep playing until my knees give out. Not blown out, but give out.
I love that. I love that.
But yeah, Rainy will be forever a long-term experience for me. And
For sure.
just understanding who I was at Rainy, and then just moving and progressing up as I go on through this game.
For sure. All right. Cool. That's what's up. So after that, so is your goal? So like, I'm curious. So like, what is your long term? Is your long term goal too? Do you want to play pro ball? Like, is that has that always been the ultimate dream for you?
As I grew and gotten older and
Mm-hmm.
understanding like what the game could do to you
Right.
and what could like the benefits, the pros and cons of the game,
Yeah.
pro ball was definitely up there. Like Euro League or overseas if the NBA ain't work out.
For
Because
sure.
like everybody has dreams to go to the NBA, but are you realistic with yourself?
Yeah.
And that's
Exactly.
one thing. That's the aspect some people like skip over. Like you have to be realistic with yourself. And
Yeah.
then those ties of being around the coaches that I was around at the young age made me realize like, all right, do I have those aspects to take
Mm.
it to the next level? And then just long term wise, that longevity wise is one thing that I had to think about too. It's like, yes, do I want to play pro ball? Yes. Do
Right.
I want to? Do I? Yeah, like I just said, I play until my knees give out. So yeah,
For
it's
sure.
it's it's up there.
Yes,
Pro
sir.
ball is definitely up there. Pro ball is definitely up there. But like just having backups in general too, I definitely have a couple of like skill sets that I have that I gained
Yeah.
over the years. But pro ball is definitely up there.
All right. Cool. Cool. Look forward to it. Sure.
So now once long time from now, once your knees actually give out, um do you feel like you're gonna use that degree you're working towards to kind of like stay around that game of basketball and like continue that passion that you have?
Yeah. And it is with me, it's bigger than the degree too,
Mm.
because coaching camps in high school, and then I'm about to coach a camp at dang Jeremiah, I ain't even tell you the
What?
warehouse. I gotta tell you about the warehouse, but
No. What?
a little rundown.
Yeah.
You see me there. A little
Yeah. For sure. For
rundown.
sure.
Yeah. That warehouse is about to open up a camp, and then just
Okay.
being around the kids and just it made me realize I was like, all right, if not only I can affect myself with this game
Mm-hmm.
after, I can at least help somebody get through it. Because the game, it's a game. At the end of the day, it's a game, and if you don't understand that game, is you're gonna have some hard times.
Yeah.
And then just helping anyone in that aspect of
Mm.
just either gaining confidence to even pick up a ball or just understanding their game within themselves, and then just being around like just good people, good genuine people around the game. And then that's one thing I understood too, because my trainer, I'm not gonna lie, she was the one that really influenced that decision. Because
Mm.
one time I told her, she asked me what I was gonna do, and at one point I was like, maybe cybersecurity or mechanical engineering. She was like, are you sure? I
Mm.
was like, yeah. And she was like, well, have you ever thought about like just sports management or anything sports wise, like physical therapy? And I was like, really? Not really.
Mm.
And she was like, well, when you think about it, I know you the most, like outside of your family, like body wise, because I've been around my
Mm.
trainer since I was a jit. Like she knows me,
Mm.
like she really knows me body wise. Like, so
Right.
she knows when I'm in pain, she knows how to like deal with that. And then I took that as an understanding of like, if I could help somebody else in a sense of the game wise from on the court to off the court,
Yeah.
then yeah, that's the reason why I'll stick by it, to be able to help somebody else.
Wow, that's
I
a great
like that.
answer.
I like that.
Jeez.
Being like the long life teacher of the game and that passion
Yeah.
that you have. I like that.
That was a great answer. I ain't feeling like that was a that was a great
Like,
answer.
I've been thinking about it for a little minute now. I'm not gonna lie.
For sure.
Been
Oh,
thinking
that's
about
real.
like for the longevity wise for a little minute now. I'm not gonna lie.
For sure. For sure. All right. So we're gonna open it up to a couple rapid questions. So it's just questions. They
Mhm.
shouldn't require a lot of thought. You just, say the first thing that's on your head. So what's a rapper you think more people should listen to? Or more people should know about?
More people should know about. Shoot, bro. Dang. I listen to a lot of music, bro. I'm not gonna even
Yeah,
lie
but
to
for
you.
sure.
I'm not gonna even lie to you. More
Anybody.
people, anybody,
Anybody.
rapper. I'm not gonna lie. My dog V's. Like
Yes.
V's is known, but like he really gets lyrical.
See
V's get
Detroit? Is
lyrical.
he one of them Detroit? Yeah, all
He's
right,
Detroit.
bet. Yeah,
He's
yeah.
Detroit.
All
V's
right.
and then yeah, V's.
bet. V's.
The V's.
I bet V's.
All right, what's your favorite team and player?
Team player, Miami Heat.
Okay.
Player overall, CJ.
How you feel about that playoff loss?
Just have to bring it up.
I understand it. That playoff loss
I
was
had to.
tough,
I had
but
to.
I understand the shot that Jimmy took.
Oh no, for
I
sure.
understand the shot that Jimmy took. So I was like,
You,
all right,
you taking that shot, right? I know
I'm
you
taking
taking that
that
shot.
shot.
I know.
From his perspective, Al played back.
Yeah,
He still had his hand up, but he played back. And as Jimmy pressed up, he came
yeah,
up, he felt that shot, and I was like, all right, yeah, I understand it.
for
And
sure.
at the time, Jimmy was getting right the whole
Nah,
series.
he was.
Jimmy was getting right. And so like I understand that shot. It was heartbreaking, but I understand that shot.
All right, cool. So, best player you played against, and then best player you've seen. It could be the same answer, but best player you played against and best player you've seen.
Best player I've played against.
Yeah.
Shoot. In my position or just overall?
That's a great question. Okay. Best player you've had to guard.
Best
I
player
like,
I had to guard.
yeah.
Um,
It could be one possession, it could be a switch, it could be whatever.
There's this kid named Brandon Garcia.
Okay.
He's a very, 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 very crafty guard. He
Okay.
plays for Eastern Florida. It's a JUCO in Melbourne.
Right.
Yeah. He plays there. And it was
Okay.
like travel ball. It was travel ball. So with him, kid crafty
Yeah.
and smart. And his mid-range game was always to a T. And with him, he'll get you.
Yeah.
No matter if he having a slump or not, he gonna get
He
you.
gonna get you.
He gonna get you, and then he gonna get his shot off because his mid range was on point. That's one kid I could say like he's there. He could be there. He could play at that D1 level,
Yeah.
and he's smart too. So shouts out to him. I'm not gonna lie. he was
Alright,
one
for
of the
sure.
best guards I had to guard. I'm not
Alright,
gonna lie.
bet.
And then best player I ever seen.
Yeah.
Dang.
It could
Seen
be
a
anything.
lot of
like,
people. I seen a lot of people on the court. I'm not gonna
it
lie.
could be an NBA game. It could be like you at an AAU tournament waiting to play, and then like you like, whoa, who's that? Like
Yeah,
anybody
AAU
or high
wise,
school, anybody. Yeah.
AAU wise, there's this kid. Dang. Best like skill wise. That's tough.
Mhm.
That's a tough question.
Hey, you could say yourself. Shoot.
Nah, I'm tough, but I ain't that tough. I'm tough. I seen some people tee up, like some people go crazy, and it's like, all right, really, there's this one kid.
Mm-hmm.
There's this one kid in Miami. I forgot his name, but he played for I think it was Nike South Beach.
Okay.
He played for Nike South Beach, and that kid, he was Dylan Fry.
Oh, Dylan Fry.
There we
He
go.
went to
Dylan
he went
Fry.
to like Yeah, he went
Yeah,
to like
Dylan.
Bowling Green or something like.
Yeah, I think he
Yeah.
did.
Okay.
Dylan Fry.
Yeah. Okay.
Dylan Fry.
All
That
right,
boy
Dylan
is
Fry.
tough. That boy is tough. Like
All right.
he's six. I think he's like 6 foot, six foot
Uh-huh.
4,
For
six
sure.
foot 5,
Yeah.
almost like DJ height, I think.
Okay.
But that boy is serious. He
All
is
right.
serious.
Bet.
Dylan Fry. Dang, bro.
You just,
Watching him. Oh man.
you just unlocked a deep memory, Jeremiah.
Yeah, I did. I did. I ain't gonna lie, I did. Low key. Low key.
Oh man.
Right. What's your favorite shooter hooping?
Ooh, great. Great
Kobe's.
question. Kobe's.
Kobe's.
Kobe's. Ooh.
Kobe's for sure.
All right.
Kobe's are special, man.
Bet. All right. Last but not least, Celtics Warriors.
Celtics Warriors. Celtics Warriors. The boys just went up 2-1 last night. That's the crazy thing.
Right?
Depth wise,
Yeah.
Celtics, but overall wise, no, not depth, not Celtics, Warriors, because they have more depth than Celtics.
Right.
Dang, but to hammer it home, Celtics.
All right, Celtics.
Celtics.
All right, bet. All right, cool. So we appreciate you coming on, bro.
Oh, for sure. Anytime.
I mean, we appreciate it. Oh no, we definitely gotta bring you back.
Anytime,
but like,
my boy.
So anything you want to leave the people with, like Instagram or social media, anything, whatever you want to leave the people with.
I'll leave the people with a gym. I'll tell you that. Proper preparation prevents poor performance.
Mic drop. That's it.
Proper preparation prevents poor performance.
That's
Remember
it.
that. 1% every day. Remember that.
All right.
Every day.
This has been another episode of the On J podcast. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. More importantly, we appreciate you, Isaiah, for coming on.
Hey, my pleasure. My pleasure.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And we out.
Yes, sir.
We out.